Hello students, welcome again to my YouTube channel. So, in this video, I am explaining you one of the most wonderful, vastly read and discussed poem by Rabindranath Tagore called Where the Mind is Without Fear. This poem is also known as My Heaven, and Tagore published this poem at Bengali language in 1910, and after 2 years at 1912 its English edition was published by Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore wrote the poem while India was still under the British rule. Thus, in this poem, Tagore prays for the better future of India. And also, this poem is 35th of Gitanjali. Here, Gitanjali is a famous collection of poems by Rabindranath Tagore. Thus, this poem is also known as Gitanjali 35. When the American President Barack Obama visited India, he quotes some line from this poem at Indian Parliament. So, when the poem was written, Indians were eagerly waiting to get their freedom. The poem is written in the form of prayer to the God, the Almighty of true freedom for his country, and thus Tagore reveals his own concept of freedom throughout the poem, where the mind is without fear. I want to let you know that Rabindranath Tagore was the only person to wrote the national anthem for the two countries, that is India and Bangladesh. In India, Jani Gan Man, and for Bangladesh, Amar Sonar Bangla. And also, the Sri Lankan national anthem was inspired by the work of Rabindranath Tagore. Now, let us begin the easiest explanation of the poem, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. दोस्तों, जैसा कि आप सभी को पता है कि यह पोएम ब्रिटिशर्स के समय लिखी गई थी और हम सभी उनके गुलाम हुआ करते थे। तो पोएट यहाँ पर एक ऐसे इंडिया को इमेजिन करते हैं, एक ऐसे इंडिया की कल्पना करते हैं जहाँ पर हिंदुस्तानी सर उठाकर गर्व के साथ जी सके और हमारा माइंड किसी से ना डरे, हम जैसा चाहें वैसा जिए, आज़ादी के साथ, गर्व के साथ. In the next line, the poet says, where the knowledge is free, means जहाँ पर हर किसी को education दिया जाएगा, and everyone have the right to get education. In the third line, the poet says, where the world has not been broken up into the fragments by a narrow domestic walls. Friends, here narrow domestic walls means the discrimination based on caste, religion, color, or a culture. Here, the poet emphasizes the unity of not only of his countrymen, but also of the entire world. He thinks there should be no division among based on their caste, color, religion, or other baseless superstitions. He imagined the country where there is no discrimination and everyone is equal. In the other line, the poet says, where words come out from the depth of truth, means here Tagore wants a nation where people are truthful. They should not be superficial and words should be come out from the depth of their hearts. Where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, means in that country everyone works hard to reach their goal and to reach the perfection. He thinks they should not be tired by working. People should not be lazy and ignoring their work. Where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit. Here in the line 7, the poet compares reason or logical thinking to a clear stream, and in the next line compares dead habits or superstitious beliefs to a dreary desert. He wants the stream of a reason not to lose its way into the desert of prejudices. In short, people's thought should be monitored by rational thinking, not by superstitions. Logic should rule over old baseless beliefs. In the next line, the poet says, where the mind is led forward by the into ever-widening thought and action. Here, the poet wishes his countrymen to be progressive and broad-minded. He wants that their minds are led forward to ever-widening thought and action by the Almighty. In short, we should be open-minded and do something unusual or extraordinary overcoming the narrowness of mind. In the next line, the poet says, "Into the heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake." Here, the father symbolizes the god. In the final line, the poet addresses the god as a father. He asks him to awaken his country into such a heaven of freedom where the above conditions meet. To make it clear, the poet prays to the Almighty, means God, to raise or lift means awake, his country to such heights where freedom would be realized at its best. In turn, he actually praying that God awakens his countrymen so that they can come out of the darkness of ignorance and disunity and all other evils. Finally, in this poem, the poet's message is very clear. If all the people of a nation are not wise enough to lead a happy and peaceful life, free from the all evils, they cannot enjoy their freedom well. So, to the poet, only political freedom is not so important unless you are fearless, self dignified, knowledgeable, truthful, hardworking, and broad minded enough to enjoy it fully. So, this is the explanation of the poem where the mind is without fear. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.